Fear. Fear. It's an interesting one. Before I really wanted to get into what what my message behind this video is, I would like to say though, to bring to your attention, to your awareness, I think a lot of us are living with way more fear than we realize we have. Realize that we are. I mean, kind of like really like try to take this to heart. I heard this from Dyer, I believe you say his name. He talked about like how much of our lives is really run by fear. And you know, he goes into explaining like, why do you drive slow on the highway or drive the speed limit or not too far above? Is it because that's the speed you want to go? Is it because you just love to drive that speed? Or is it because you're worried about your life, the life of people around you, and potentially getting taken and pulled over by the police? So that's sort of like a fear base. And then, you know, we have reasons for why we got to do the certain things we got to do. Like maybe you got to do the laundry, maybe you got to go to work. But why? Is it because you're afraid of what happens if you don't do that? Just like try to follow me with this. Like, cause I mean, I understand like you have to go to work, you have to get a job, but you know, like I still see it in myself that is like, I'm also afraid of not being able to pay the bills. It's like a fear, it's like a worry, it's like a stress that's always in my mind. Well, I get to go to places like this. Check this out for a moment. So basically, yeah, that's how I wanted to open up. Try to just express that maybe you're living with a lot more fear than you realize you are. Maybe a lot more of your life could be potentially controlled by fear, a lot more of the decisions you make. And not to say even that the decisions are right or wrong, but you know, I just like to give different perspectives, show maybe there's a different way you can live your life. And you know, you can feel more happier, more fulfilled, whatever, more enlightened, whatever it is you're looking for in life, or you gotta have more energy to go do whatever you want to do if you know, make like simple mind tweaks. And today I just wanted to talk about sort of removing fear. I mean, a lot of different ways to go about this. Though one of the most like powerful and effective methods for me is literally just driving into fear. Diving into it isn't that what I really wanted to say. I don't want you to tell you drive your car into fear. What are you gonna do? Don't do it. Okay, so I had a story I wanted to share. I had a friend. He told me about, well, one of his fears basically. I don't want to go into too much detail about it. I can't really remember every single detail, honestly. But he told me about one of his fears, like he's afraid of smiling. He's afraid of smiling because I believe he told me when he was younger he had funny teeth. So you know, it kind of makes sense. He's worried about people making fun of him. You know, that's just kind of a really common fear a lot of us have. A lot of children go through. They're just worried about how they look in one way, shape, or form. I mean, he had a problem with his teeth. And you wouldn't know because he's got them fixed. He got braces or whatever now. But he still lives with that fear, and he knows he does. And, you know, things like this is kind of important to address because you can be like, well, what's the big deal anyway? Why care if he has fear? You know, you can still kind of make that argument like, what's the problem with him being afraid of people seeing his teeth even though they're fine now? But it kind of really sort of like that fear, it's really easy for it to transfer if you follow me here into other parts of your life and sort of start affecting other things and other decisions that you do because you still have that fear energy inside of you, that fear mindset that you have inside of you. So even like you might be afraid of that, but then basically it makes it easier for you to be afraid of other things. You're more familiar, more comfortable with the feeling of fear. You're more experienced in it. So it could become a problem. Okay, so all that being said, what I wanted to get into with this video is just saying what I told them. That's actually what I really want to get into. I told them to just, I almost feel awkward doing this now because kind of worried about how my teeth look. But I told him to just go up to people because he worked in a store, so it was really easy to do. I mean, you can do it in the street, you can do it even at home, and just smile. Just force a smile, just fake a smile, show him your teeth. And what I told him that I think was the most profound about it is that I didn't tell him to like convince himself. I didn't tell him to convince his mind. I told him to convince his body. Because I understood that this fear that it's really like something that's obviously developed for him. He's had it for a long time. And that I told him to not convince your mind, because logically he gets it. Do I need him to logically tell himself that, you know, to stop being afraid? Is that really going to do anything for him? Do I need him to spiritually do it? I needed him to physically understand that he's experiencing the symptoms of fear inside of his body. You know, they might just be kind of natural for him at this point, just easy for him to go to. And to do the smile, to force the smile, to tell your body that it's okay. So all that, yeah, I feel like that all came out really well. This video got me. So look at this sunset. This video, I think, came out a lot better than I thought it would. Sunset setting over there. I'll see maybe a couple minutes I could get closer. We end the video with a nice shot of that. Probably would look nice. Okay, I think it's time for me to wrap it up. I think I know what I'm gonna say. Basically, the whole point of that was to explain really that you might be carrying more fear than you realize, or maybe you do know you're carrying fear. You know, it's also how to deal with fear. Maybe you have a situation you're actually literally afraid of. And I'm basically just saying, instead of just being okay with it, instead of running from it, instead of hiding from it, instead of whatever it is you're doing to not properly address the situation, just dive into it. I mean, if it's a literal life and death situation, don't jump into it. But if it's a real situation where you rationally know that you're kind of just like freaking out right now and you can calm down, don't try to like force yourself to calm down unless you know how to do that. But that usually doesn't work so well. So what I'm trying to say is to actually do the thing that you're afraid of. Is to actually do the thing that you're afraid of. God, I feel like Elliot Holst would say that. To actually do the thing you're afraid of. To go into it, to face the challenge, to overcome it, to build your self-confidence, to know that no matter what happens, you're going to be able to figure it out, you're going to survive, you're going to get through it, you're going to be okay, you're going to prosper, you're going to move on with your life. It's not going to last forever. You're always going to have problems, and the only thing you could do is figure out how you're going to deal with them differently. Change your mindset, change your perspective. Check out my channel, hit that subscribe button. This is Our World Shifted coming at you live. I'm going to get you guys some of that beautiful sunset. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope I inspired you guys and I hope you learned something. Have a nice day.